Solo.
Okay, there we go. We got it working again. Excuse me, and now I just have a coughing fit because that's a great way to start a live stream. Hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. We got Champions of Hara on the channel today, and that makes me excited. I really, really love this game. I want to play it more than I do to explore all that it has to offer. But, you know, there's a lot of other games I'm playing, and this one is not as popular, which is fine. We will get our smaller amount of views than I might with some other games, but again, this is a top 10 game for me still, and I'm really enjoying exploring all that it has to offer. I do want to do a couple of tech things here. Let's get a little bit more zoomy on the face. Cool, zoomy. Zoomy is a new word, and yeah, we are apparently super off kilter. So I'll have to move this giant monstrosity of a board over. Again, when you have the board, you have these 4 world tiles. And again, it's 4. It's like 4. 6 world tiles. Akenmore, the Dreer, Oric Waste, the Bayou, Oppenheim, and Luna Ridge. Did I say Oppenmore? Oakenmore. Oakenmore, if I said Oppenmore, you know, I just combined 2 worlds. What's going on? All right, I just had a weird notification from my computer. But it's fine. We're all good. The world is not ending. Well, you know, at least not today. So, man, it's gonna be a weird one today. I can just feel it. I'm in one of those moods. So let me try to move all this over a little bit. It's just so big. I mean, this is like as wide as my camera goes. And it's just crazy getting this thing to fit every freaking time. So this is the solo scenario for Oric. It's got some weird twists because it is not entirely solo. The rule quagmire begins. The first couple scenarios, it was like I had some rules questions, but they seemed kind of straightforward in a sense. You just had some straightforward. I mean, I could do some digging and I got the answer, and is what it is. This scenario is like basically like the beginning of the cracks in the armor with this game. Again, one of the downsides of this game is that the support from the designer and the publisher has been a little bit underwhelming. There are some serious questions about how setup should work for some of the scenarios that were never fully answered. There are some really interesting BGG threads on the subject, and the game did not get the support that it needed post-release, or at least needed, that you would have really wanted, right? When you're playing a game, especially a solo game, look, it's one thing if you're playing a competitive game or cooperative game and everyone's having fun and it's like, hey, we'll fudge some rules, who cares? Solo, it's like part of the experience is like beating the game the way it's intended to be played, at least for me and for others of my ilk. So we're trying to like to play a game. It's like, I don't know if those are the right rules, and to not be able to get a straight answer from the publisher to do it on any kind of large extent can be a little bit of a downer. You know, in this scenario, definitely has some serious rules questions. There's also some balancing concerns. And the balancing concerns can be related to the rules questions, because the rules questions, I mean, there's a question whether the tile should be at 1 or 6 or 1 or 2 in all of the scenarios. By default, I always do 1 and 2. That seems to be the final official answer from the designer, but then he kind of waffled on that, but never gave an official answer. You know, the balancing of the scenario, I have not beaten this scenario. I have gotten mildly close once. It seems ridiculously hard, and it could just be I'm not very experienced with Oric. One of the things I do want to do is grab Oric's other ultimate cards, and I have not practiced with these, but I think this one makes some sense. There was a really interesting thread, some comments on my last Champions of Hara video, that you have every hero comes with 2 ultimate cards that are locked, And there was a really interesting comment on my last video that if you look at the way the rulebook is structured, it does seem to assume that before you get to the solo scenarios, that these are unlocked and that you have them. They do either provide a passive ability or they provide another thing that you can use an activation on. So I'll explore these. I won't do the same for Persephone. Why does Persephone matter? Why am I talking about Oric when Persephone is on the board? Well, haha, that's a really good question, which we will get into as we kind of talk about the scenario. I'm on the wide angle, so let me try to get some of that off the board. Yeah, a little behind on tech today. Obviously, just had a lot going on. Still a little jet lagged from my recent trip with Mrs. Playthroughs for sure. And a bunch of other stuff that we've been trying to catch up on. All right, this will do. I will get some Doom tokens. We're going to need these. I'll put them kind of on the other side of the board over here. And I'm just trying to figure out how I want to set all this stuff up. We're going to have our first corrupted. That's this wonderful monstrosity in the beginning. This is literally like a dude like on like like a four-legged, I don't know, it was like a four-legged tarantula grew out of his back, and he's just, it's crazy. This is some crazy, crazy artwork. I do love the world building that this game has brought to the table for sure. So Afian, this is his story on the back. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really crazy picture of Afian, and you could see like he has like these weird spider-like legs that have grown from from his back, and now that's what he is. So I think there might be some more story to him in actually the rule book, and I'll put his little corrupted card over here. So in other scenarios that I have put on the channel, you have seen that we just had a corrupted turn, which was basically just a die roll, and that kind of told us some things to do. Now the corrupted turn is going to be taken by Afian, and there is actually a scenario effect as well as the scenario effect that's going to depend on the numerical die, the 1 through 6, and then there's going to be an Afian effect, which is going to be dependent on what we roll on the world die. Again, this is a 6-sided die. Each one face corresponds to each of the 6 worlds that are around the dojo, which is in the center of the table. Afian, we're setting him up for a 2-player game. Again, Persephone is in the house, so we'll talk about that in a second. And when you set up one of the corrupted for a 2-player game, you basically take these rings and you're going to give 2 of them to the corrupted. The health of the corrupted is 16. I don't know why it goes up to 20 on all the corrupted. I'm sure there's some other content. Maybe they can get health or not. I don't know. But ultimately, starts at 16. The first time you defeat Afian, this one will come off, and then you'll get a reward of 2 source or 2 energy. Again, there's spirit along the side for the on the player boards, and then these are the different energy tracks. You have blue energy, red energy, and green energy. The first time you defeat the corrupted, you take that off, and then we'll just have 1 left. So we have to defeat him twice. Again, we're playing it a 2-player game. If you were playing it a 4-player game, you would have 4 of these, and then you'd have to defeat him 4 times. And again, each time is 16 health. So again, Afian also will act like a normal monster on every turn, where he will, again, attack 1, range 2. 1's not bad, but these effects here can be pretty nasty. He also has 2 other abilities. One is a passive ability. Players dealt damage by Afian also lose that much spirit. At the end of Afian's turn, he deals 3 damage to all enemy corrupted within range 2. Well, we're not playing with any other corrupted, so we don't have to worry about that. Last sentence, and then expose weakness. The players have another ability they can do. It does not cost an activation. They can discard a Dreamstone, and all players within range 2 of Afian will get 2 spirit. Ooh, all players within range 2. That's very interesting. Cool. Check in the chat. No comments yet, but I'm assuming this is streaming well. So that is totally fine. I am going to set up Oric. Well, I'll set up Persephone over here. I think that would make the most sense. And we're going to give her stuff here. Now, Persephone, her backstory is not on that card. It is on this card. So Persephone is an empath. Hailing from a lightless world filled with predatory horrors, Persephone hopes to win the conflicts to end her nightmares once and for all. Hunted by the dream-obsessed scientists of the Dreer for her ability to wield fear, Persephone is strongest in the presence of great terror, whether it is her own or her opponents. Having grown up without a family on a world full of monsters, Persephone prefers to communicate with her empathic abilities rather than words. Mid-range and mobile. Her primary color is blue, so if she gets up to the top of that, she would get her ultimate. That's not going to really come into play in this scenario, but that is the normal rule for her. She spawns at 8 health. She spawns at 6 spirit. Each time she takes damage, she gains excuse me. Each time she takes damage, I go back through puberty. Each time she takes damage, she gains that much fear. Fear persists between turns and days. It resets to 2 fear when she's defeated. If you're terrified, you are also scared. So this is her special resource. Most of the Hara champions have a special resource. As she takes damage, her fear goes up. When she gets to this level, she's considered scared. That would be give her the ability to trigger some stuff on her action cards. When she gets up to 6 fear, she's terrified, but she does max out at 9 fear. But again, you'll be spending that as a resource as we go. One thing I do want to look up in the scenario rules. Lose. Oh, so she can never be defeated. So the whole reset at 2 thing is not a thing that she can ever do. That seems a little crazy. Yeah, I think there's some unclear rules in this. I don't see how it's possible to ever win this, but I can see it possible to come close. So we'll see. I mean, the fact that she can never die. Woof. All right. Well, now we know. For each must be back to the dojo. Great. We have all our Persephone's cards, so we're gonna just put these off to the side for now, and then we'll have this up here, and now we'll have ample play space for Oric. We also have our Dusk deck. I'm going to shuffle this. We'll see the Dusk cards during the beginning of each Dusk phase. So again, this is very Mage Knightian. You have 6 total days and possible in a round. This scenario, however, gets played in 4 days, but each day has 2 rounds. So there's 6 total days possible in a game. This scenario only has 4 days, but each day has 2 rounds. You have a dawn round and a dusk round. That's cool. So I'm going to put the dusk cards up here. These purple cards here are just item cards, and we'll see them. They are numbered. You never shuffle them. They're numbered 1 through whatever. And then we have the level 0 cards. The number 0 cards are always Dreamstones. Although I do have 1 promo card, which is a Bloodstone, which I don't really see the point of, but that's just me. I'm shuffling up the World Shift cards. I feel like some of these things would come to life more in a competitive situation than they necessarily do in the solo or cooperative scenarios. So the Dusk cards are shuffled, World Shift cards are shuffled, we have our items over there, and now we need to set up for Oric. So Oric is a martial artist. So this is his solo scenario. So I did a setup for Persephone. I'll explain that when I get to the rules, but let's talk about Oric now. So Oric is the martial artist, the king of Oppenheim, the painted city, and idol of the goon folk. Oric seeks to win the conflicts, to restore his kingdom, and sustain the colorful lives of his followers. By devoting his life to art, Oric has managed to find balance amidst the chaos. He uses his heightened instincts and exceptional reflexes to redirect energy at those who would seek to do him harm. Versatile and complex. Oh, indeed he is. So, how does he work? Well, he spawns at 9 health and 5 spirit. Again, we're going to set all of our energy levels down. So again, we have blue energy, red energy, and green energy. We start with 0 of all of that. And then we have this card here, which is Crane, Tiger, and Koi. Well, what is that? What's that all about? Oric has 3 stances. At the beginning of each of his turns, you must choose a new stance that you were not in the turn before. So that's pretty crazy. So the crane stance gives all of our abilities +1 range, and then our abilities that cause to move have -1 movement. Now that's move, not transport, and that could make a big difference. Tiger, all our abilities have +1 damage. but they also have -1 range. So anything that's range 1, well, now it's range 0, so you need to actually be on the spot with the monster to attack it. And then Koi, you gain +1 activation, but all damage to you is increased by 1. And that could be quite nasty, so we need to be careful about that. I'll just put this over here. Great. We have our upgrade cards and our ultimate card. I'll put those over here for now. We don't need them to start the game. But what we do have is our 4 starting cards to start in our hand. So the first card is every move Oric makes is graceful except when he is eating. What? The flavor text in this game is bananas. All right, so we have backflip. So this starts the in-hand ability. We get the I won't go through all the abilities, but yeah. So you remember you have in-hand ability, on-board ability. I'll play them as we go. But we have backflip, galvanic palette, which is a damage-doing card. Sarasu, which is a card that allows us to turn damage into the ability to turn damage to us into the ability to do damage to enemies on the next turn. And then we have Dash, which is a standard card across all the champions, which is this move up to 2. Excellent. Put those. Well, I think this board's too busy. I was thinking maybe I can get the hand cam out, but now this will be my hand. This will be the play area, and now I'll be the way. There's too much on the board to I think get another camera angle in here. And now we have these. Maybe until the end of your turn, treat yourself as though as you are in every stance. You gain all the positive effects, but none of the negative effects. Free. And then treat this card as a 4 stance in addition to Tiger, Crane, and Koi. While in Dragon stance, all energy you gain is gold energy, but you cannot use or gain benefits from items. You know what? I don't know. I haven't played with either of these cards yet. I'm just not gonna play it. I think this gives us an alternate. I had to just confirm with the rules. I think this gives us an alternate ultimate that we can take when we gain the ultimate, but we can't gain the ultimate through normal means anyway. I guess this passive ability would just start on the board once we have it unlocked. It just seems weird, and I'm not going to worry about it for this playthrough. So that is that. So we have everything set up except our world decks. So I'm going to take the Bayou World deck. Now, one of the things I still don't really love about the game is how they did the setup thing, in that they gave you 7 event cards, 9 monster cards for each world, but you have to take out 2 events before every game. I find that kind of unnecessary. I wish they just gave me 5 events, and I just don't think the added variety justifies the added setup. But that's fine. So I'm just going to shuffle all the cards and then just take out the first 2 events I see. Great. And then now we have the proper ratio of monsters to events for the Bayou. So I'm going to shuffle one more time, put that down. We have a monster on top. It is important to know whether you have a monster on top or an event on top, because as they come off, there's just different rules for what you do with it. So I'm shuffling up the 16 cards in the Oppenheim deck. We're going to take out 2 events. That's an event. That's an event. We'll shuffle the rest of these. So you'll see the way the setup works, and I will read through the rules for the scenario we're playing in. This is a scenario 9, Warrior in Distress. Afion will start on the dojo. Oric is going to start in number space 3 on Oppenheim. We do have a monster on the top of Oppenheim. Let me set up Afion a little bit better here. And then we have, so this is his cool little mini. He's just standing there being all martial arts like, which is super exciting. And then we have over here, man, give me 1 sec. All right, we're back. And then we have Persephone. Persephone has a monster behind her because, she, why wouldn't she? It's just totally natural. And her hands have turned into some power-infused crab claws, and that's cool too. So she goes on number 3 over in the drawer. So we have the Lunar Ridge. We're going to shuffle up these 16 cards. Again, I'm going to take out 2 events. I'm going to throw the whole deck all over the board. Woof. All right, come back. Here we go. And now let's get 2 events out of here. 1 and 2, shuffle the rest. Again, I'm not going to be too worried about the shuffles here. All right, we have another monster on top. We're going to go to Oakenmore. Rinse and repeat 2 more times, kids. Let's start talking about the scenario. Oric had not seen Persephone in some time, nor felt her essence in the breeze. A cold shiver ran up his spine. Stuffing his pockets with food, Oric set out from the city in search of his friend. The required corruption is Aphion, and the win condition is complete both phases before the end of day 4. I do really wish they gave you the day 5. Day 4 seems absurdly difficult. All right, let me get out the 2 events from Oakenmore. I keep saying Oppenmore. It's Oakenmore. Oakenmore, Oppenheim. Very different, Greg. Get it together. One sec. Oh, I just lost the chat. Where did the chat go? Hey, Sajid. Well, hello there. Did not see that you were going to stream today. Maybe I missed the link somehow. What's up, sir? How are you? Sorry again. The chat was going away. Yeah, I was supposed to stream at 11, but I pushed it back to 12. But yeah, this is it. I got this today, and then Monday I'm probably going to. I feel like my something's more. I gotta check the settings of this later. I'm doing this today. Monday I'm gonna do Maze Night. Probably, I think it's either Monday or Tuesday. I'm probably gonna shoot 4 times next week, 4 times the week after that, and then then I'm gonna be gone for a couple weeks. So, just trying to get a bunch on the channel between now and then for sure. We have a monster on top of Oakenmore, and let me shuffle up the Dreer. But yeah, it's been public for a few days, so I just pushed it back though. Again, it was 11 to 12, so I don't know if that affected like normal notifications for you, but yeah, I mean this game. I mean, I really want to feature this game more. I'm hoping to kind of expose it to a wider audience, and just I think anyone that like loves the solo games, I think the card play in this one's really unique and slick. I think the world is really unique. There's just a lot I really really like about it. The big drawback is that it just doesn't have the support, and you are going to be like, kind of doing some guesswork and what the rules are supposed to be, and you're going to have to make decisions how you want to set it up. But there's a ton of BGD threads that I think are a helpful place to start to at least kind of get your bearings and go from there. The rule book is fairly straightforward for the most part. There's not a ton to this game. I just really like some of the strategies, and I like the variety of scenarios. You're coming in, you got base game alone, 6 solo scenarios. You got 6 co-op. You can, if you want a 2-hand, you got 6 co-op scenarios. And you got like 6 more scenarios that are like 3+. So it's cool. There's a lot to like, and then the expansion adds a bunch, like 4 more heroes, a bunch more scenarios, and things like that. Sagittarius is cool. Hope to catch you, but will depend on when you are actually live. People got to work. Yeah, no doubt. Now we are playing ourselves soon, so I'll have to skip. Awesome. Unless you play multiplayer 2-handed as well, I'd be inclined to unlock his ultimate and pass. Agree with your comments on the game resetup. Thank you, Paul. Unless you play yeah. I guess I'll do the passive. I just don't see why I would use this alternate instead of the other one. The passive's fine. Get all the positive. Dragon stance, none of the negative. I mean, that seems useful. I just haven't played with it yet. I just don't want to screw up some rules and be stumbling along any more than I might otherwise. All right, so Retchy Waste, we got to take the 2 events out of here. 1 and 2. That's done. All right, so the worst part of setup is over. I mean, really the only major part of setup. Everything else is set up. We've been set up for a while. Just waiting for that nonsense to be done. But this is it. We are ready to go. Again, we have 8 rounds. I don't see how anyone could ever pull this one off. So, all right, we'll grab Dragon Stance, and I'll just do that. Treat this as a force stance. And I guess you just put it, that's just awkward. Yeah, I guess I could put it, I can put it here. That's fine. And then we'll see what I want to be on. All right, so I'll take the unlocked passive, and then we have Dantian. Treat yourself as though you're in every stance. I mean, this seems pretty similar to Dragon Stance, but what do I know? All right, we are gonna get going here. So I have the first. We're in Dawn. At the beginning of Dawn, what are we gonna? Oh, I didn't talk about the rules, right? So let's do that. Special rules: do not gain Oric's ultimate by normal means. Instead, really having a hard time speaking today. Instead, gain his ultimate only if Persephone becomes terrified. In Phase 1, Ophian's abilities only affect Oric. Set Ophian as though 2 players were in the game. Ophian cannot lose a resilience token nor go below 1 health until Phase 2. Phase 1, spawn Oric on Space 3 in Oppenheim. Put Persephone in Space 3 in the Dreer, and Ophion in the Dojo. Set up Persephone's play area as though another player was in the game. We've already done that. Transfer a total of 15 energy. So objective in Phase 1 is that we need to transfer a total of 15 energy from Oric to Persephone to free her of her binds. Because this nasty monstrosity has clearly put our wonderful Persephone in some binds here, and that's not good. So we need to get 15 energy to Oric, and again, energy is the blue, the red, and the yellow bars, and just give it to Persephone. You must be in the same space to pass energy, reducing your bars and increasing hers by a subsequent amount in any combination of colors. Once Persephone is freed, she must be carried back to the dojo for healing. Move her figure alongside Oric until you end your turn in the dojo, then proceed to Phase 2. Scenario roll effect. Roll. Spawn a doom counter on the space in the Dreer matching the number of rolls. So basically, whenever the time the Corrupted has a turn, which is going to be after each of our turns every round. So we're going to take a turn in Dawn, then Ophian's going to take a turn. We're going to take a turn at Dusk. Ophian's going to take a turn. He's going to roll both of these dice. The number is going to tell us where to put a doom token in the Dreer. So that would go on 2. And then these are manifestations of Persephone's unhinged terror. Now, this is going to trigger something based on Ophian's card over here, which is either going to be Bleak Ultimatum, Shatter Will, or Sleepwalk. I really hope I roll Bleak Ultimatum a lot. It is the most helpful one of 3 for sure. So these Doom tokens are manifestations of Persephone's unhinged terror, exploited by Ophion. The terrors have 1 health, deal 2 damage, and have range 0. At the end of each corrupted turn, move all terrors on the board 1 space towards Persephone. If a terror reaches Persephone, she loses 2 health, and then remove the terror from the board. There can only be 6 terrors in play at a time. So, Doom token gets on the board, it moves. Oh my gosh, it's so terrifying. We lose 2 health for Persephone, and then Persephone gains the corresponding amount of fear. And again, if she ever gets up to terrified, that is the only way we get our ultimate as Oric. Oric will not gain the ultimate the normal way. The normal way to gain the ultimate is that you gain the ultimate in Dawn. Is it Dawn of Day 3 or is it Dusk? I don't know, one of those 2. You normally gain your ultimate at Dawn or Dusk of Day 3. And then you normally get your ultimate if you get to the top of your primary color. So if Oric got all the way up to 10, he would normally get his ultimate. In this scenario, that does not apply. She loses health. Okay, if a terror reaches Persephone, she loses 2 health and remove it from the board. There are going to be 6 terrors in play at a time. If we accomplish that, so what's that? If I can get over to Persephone with 16 energy, give Persephone 15 energy, give Persephone 15 energy, then get her to the dojo, which is a lot. If we can do all that, then we can proceed to Phase 2. So Phase 2, time for payback. Switch your character space to Persephone's and remove Oric from the game. You are no damsel, but a monstrous murder machine. Transfer any items collected as Oric to Persephone. Select level up cards for Persephone if Oric's transfer calls you to pass any thresholds. Again, these are the thresholds. The middle point is when you gain new powers. So if in transferring stuff to Persephone, she got past the midpoint on any of her colors for energy, then she would just take the extra cards that she would need. So ultimately, we're going to want to give her 5 energy in each, so she would have the maximum number of cards that she would want to try to do what she needs to do in Phase 2. And what's that? Well, she needs to defeat Afion. So we're going to need to do 32 damage to Afion in 8 rounds total, while doing a whole bunch of damage to get Oric 15 energy so you can pass it to Persephone and get her over to the dojo. It's bananas. This is a really, really hard scenario. So again, select level up cards for Persephone. If Oric's transfer calls you to pass any thresholds, and draw your ultimate card immediately. There is no more scenario roll effect for the duration of this fight. So there's no more scenario roll effect. So this number doesn't mean anything. We don't put out any more Doom tokens, but we still are going to give Afion his turn, so he's still going to do this, unless I'm reading that wrong, but that should be clear. So I assume he still gets a turn after each of our turns, and how we're going to give him turns and not end up killing off Persephone a single time, I have no idea. If Persephone is defeated, you lose. If Oric is defeated, gain 1 Doom counter. If Oric is defeated twice, we lose that way as well. So lots of ways to lose this one. Paul Dale, I think it's a matter of intent and difficulty. I wonder if the intention is the solo games are the hardest and are intended to be played with the passives. Yeah, no, I could see that. It's just one of those things though. It's like when this game first came out, I mean, it looked like the designer was super active and trying to be super helpful, and then just disappeared, man. And I guess it makes sense. I mean, at some point, like if he wasn't planning to do any more expansions, it just had no interest. Like, I mean, God bless him. I mean, it's a little jarring, if you read some of those threads to just see like how many more questions are out there for this game that just never got satisfactory answers. But the game is so good that it's just, I mean, I'm so glad I picked it up and really do love a lot of what it does. All right, so we are going to go to Dawn. The first thing we're going to do in this game in Dawn is that we're going to spawn. So I got 5 monsters in one event. That's about right with the ratios that we should expect. So we're going to put a monster in the number that corresponds to what Dawn number we're in. So the top of the deck goes into 1 in Oppenheim. It is the Jump by Goons. They are dangerous, aggressive, and they have a critical effect. They have 5 health. They are attack range 1. And their attack is an attack of a 0. Well, that's crazy. Well, they have critical. So critical, they're going to roll a die. If they roll a 5 or a 6 when they attack, they're actually going to deal 3 damage. So it's a little bit gambly. I kind of like that monster a lot. If we defeat them, we get all the effects on the right side. Any special loot would be listed here. And if there was a number in there, that would also say what kind of item we would take out of the item deck. So if we kill the goons, we don't get any items. There's no special loot, but we would get 1 gold energy, which we could treat as wild, 2 green energy, and 2 red energy. So getting 5 energy for killing 1 monster. Yes, please. I would like to do that a lot. If I can kill 3 monsters and get 15 energy, that would be super helpful. We have the Gruffalo. The Gruffalo is armored and aggressive. So I should talk about what aggressive is. Aggressive is as soon as you enter the spot, you take an attack from that enemy. Dangerous is, because the Jumped by Goons also has the dangerous ability. Dangerous is after they're killed, they attack 1 more time before leaving the board. And again, I already talked about the critical. Gruffalo is armored and aggressive. So what does that mean? Well, armored means that I cannot attack this unit unless I'm on its space. And aggressive, again, is just like the goons. Once I enter its space, it will do an attack as soon as I enter. Over here, we have the Horrible Tangle. The Horrible Tangle is one of the leader units. You can tell with that little head skeleton thing with horns that's down there. So this is an especially difficult unit. What I like about that is, again, it gives 4 energy plus an item, but it does have 6 health. It's aggressive, and special loot, when you defeat it, you gain 3 spirit. I think that's a really nice unit to have on the board early. I will definitely try to defeat that. We have an event in the rear, so we put that face down. As soon as we enter that, we immediately carry out the event, and then we proceed with our turn. And then we have the monster in a Retchy Waste. It is a blue Riffling. So this is the only keyword we haven't seen yet. It's the ally. So when we get on the space of the blue Riffling, we can choose to either defeat it like a normal monster, or like, oh, we're actually friends. I like you, blue Riffling. I'm just going to discard you and take your benefit. The benefit for using the ally effect of the blue Riffling is you can gain 2 health. And then finally down here, we have the green Riffling, which we can gain 2 health again that way. Again, if we defeat it, it's just 2 green energy. At the start of the game, we also will have a item. We get a Dreamstone, and it's a Dreamstone to each player. So I assume that it includes Persephone, but I'm not sure about that. But I'm going to give her one anyway, and if that's wrong, someone can tell me. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are not super clear about how we're supposed to deal with Persephone, but, you know, just kind of guessing and muddling my way through. Because you said set her up like a player, so I assume that means she also gets the Dreamstone. Now, what are the Dreamstones? The Dreamstones have a discard ability. Spawn the top card of your current world tile on your space. You can only use one Dreamstone per turn. While on an empty space, you can only carry 2 Dreamstones at a time. That's great and all, but most likely we're going to be using the Dreamstones for Aphion's exposed weakness, where discard a Dreamstone. All players within range 2 of Aphion gain 2 Spirit. Paul Milgas has a message redacted. Milgas, I sold this a while back, and now thinking I might have to track it down again. Yeah, I've been there with a couple of games for sure. I don't know if I've ever actually done that, though. I'm pretty sure once I've sold the game, might have had slight pangs of regret at times, but for the most part, I've not enough to ever want to fully reacquire. All right, so that is the beginning of the game. We have done all the setup. We carried out what has to happen at dawn. Everything went into the 1 spaces, and now I need to choose a stance. I will choose. I mean, I kind of want to choose Dragon Stance then. You get. Treat this card. All energy, but you cannot use. Nah, I don't think Dragon Stance is that great. Is it? No, it's not that great. While Dragon Stance, all energy you gain is gold, but you cannot use or gain benefits. Use or gain benefits from items. I mean, maybe that's best. I don't know. It doesn't give me a 4th activation. Yeah, I don't really see the point. I do want to try to kill the junk by goons, so I'm going to start in Tiger Stance. All my abilities are +1 damage, but my abilities have -1 range. So I'm going to play a dash. That's going to give me the ability to move 2. So I'm going to move 1, 2. I entered where the goons were. They are going to attack me because of the aggressive keyword. Their attack is a base of a 0. They're going to roll this die. They rolled a 6. Of course they did. I take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. That was very mean of those goons, but you know they are goons after all. My second activation, I get 3 activations a turn. I'm going to play Galvanic Palette. I get 2 damage, range 1. It's actually 3 damage because I'm in Tiger Stance. Again, we need to get up to 5 health. You either kill an enemy on your turn or not. If I get 4 damage on the jump by goons, they reset back. I need to do 5 damage next turn, so obviously that would be pretty silly. And now I'm going to play Backflip, choose a monster corrupted within range 1, transport to that space, and deal 1 damage. So I choose this monster. I don't have to transport anyway because I'm already on that space. I'm doing 1 damage. 1 damage becomes 2 because of Tiger Stance. That's 5 damage. I have killed the goons. They're dangerous. They're going to attack me again. Please don't roll a 5 or a 6 again. I rolled a 4, so I do not take 3 damage this time. They're out of the game, but I'm going to get some energy. I get 2 red energy, 2 green energy, and I'll take that gold as a green energy. I really want to get my green ability card. I find that super important. So the goons are out. The goons are out. Boom. Dunskies. Those are my 3 activations. So I'm going to take the in-hand side goes this way, and this way. So all 3 of these are now on board. I have a Dreamstone, which I can discard just to get 2 Spirit because I am in range 2 of Aphion. I will not do that just yet. So that's the end of my turn. Since I had a turn, now the Corrupted has a turn. And the Corrupted's turn, they're going to roll 2 dice. We get a Terror marker in Dreer 1. And now we have the Erechi Waste symbol. So what is that going to trigger? Erechi Waste symbol triggers Shattered Will. Transport Aphion to the player with the least spirit. That player takes 2 damage. Then if that player has 0 spirit, they take another 2 damage. So Aphion's like, hello, I'm going to transport over to where you are, give you 2 damage. Now remember the special ability of Ophion, damage dealt when players are dealt damage by Ophion, also lose that much spirit, so I actually lose 2 spirit as well, and I get down to 3. What's not clear is say I die, say I only had 1 health left, do I still lose 2 spirit? I think you do. And I think it's the full 2, but again, I could be wrong about that. So that is the Corrupted's turn. So we go to Dusk. In Dusk, we're going to spawn. I mean, I don't know if... So normally in Dusk, you spawn a number of Dusk cards equal to the number of players plus 1. I don't know if we're supposed to do 2 or 3 if Persephone counts, but I've been kind of feeling like Persephone counts as a player for all purposes, so I will spawn 3 even though we're in a solo game. But I don't know. I can't really figure out another way that would make sense. So let's spawn 3 Dust cards. We're going to spawn 1 Dust card in Lunar Ridge 3. It is a Dawn Karen. Special loot you may transport to the dojo. We're going to spawn a 2nd Dust card. We're going to be in Lunar Ridge. Was that Lunar? Did I roll Lunar Ridge or did I roll? Or is that the bio? I think it was Lunar Ridge. Lunar Ridge 5. We have the Dusk Kieran, and then we're going to spawn a 3rd one. It is Akenmore 4. And we have the Cursed Drugon, aggressive, armored, critical, plus 2 damage. A bunch of energy, so do like that. If someone can tell me whether I actually rolled Lunar Ridge 3 or the Bayou 3, I might have looked at the symbol wrong, but it's not that big of a deal. So that is the Dusk. So now I have 3 more activations. I have to switch my role. I'm going to look at my onboard abilities. So Dash let me move 2 when it was in hand, but now it's on board. Perform the following effects, whichever order you want. Move up to 1 and deal 1 damage, range 1. Galvanic Pallet says your next attack this turn deals plus 1 damage. And then Backflip moves up to 2. If you're in Crane stance, your next attack this turn deals plus 1 damage. He's armored, so that's a problem. Move up to 1, move up to 2. Take 2 more damage. I'm probably going to die. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to go to Koi. So now I have plus 1 activation, but all damage dealt to me is increased by 1. I'm pretty much not going to survive this, which is fine. I'm going to discard the Dreamstone since I'm within 2 of Ophion, and that's going to give me 2 spirit back. 1, 2. Getting low on spirit with Ophion is super dangerous because he can really jack you up. I have 4 activations. I'm going to put Sarasu on the board. So that was in hand. It's now on the board. While this card is in front of you, gain 1 charge for each point of damage you take, up to a maximum of 3 charges. Now on the on-board ability, deal damage equal to the number of charges, range 2. So I just want to get that set up, and the marker starts at 0. That's done. I have 3 more activations because, again, I'm doing Koi. I'm going to move up to 2. Oh, can I kill that? Move up to 2, range 1. I could kill the Griffling. That'll give you a transport ability. All right, I like that. I'm going to move to Crane abilities plus 1 range. Unless I do the Dragon Stance. Wonder if I try to take out the Gruffalo instead. Problem is the Gruffalo is going to absolutely kill me. I might not die this way. Yeah, I'll stick with Koi. So I'm going to move up to 2, 1, 2. I'm going to activate this, where my next attack this turn deals +1 damage, and I'm going to activate dash, move up to 1, deal 1 damage, range 1. And with this, I'll actually move here, and I will deal 1 damage, but because my next attack this turn deals 2 damage, I managed to kill the green Riffling. That gets me up to here. End of my turn, I'm going to do a green level up, and I'm going to have my choice of 2 different cards. I know which one I want, but I will tell you what they do. So the Vault, choose a monster corrupted within range 2, transport to that space. If you're in Tiger stance, the target also loses aggressive and dangerous. It could be really good if I was playing with Oric this entire game, which I'm not, but I have Cloud Surf. The in-hand abilities transport to any space within range 3. That could be really, really important. I will definitely take that. The onboard ability of Vault is move up to 3. The onboard ability of Cloud Surf is gain 1 health for free. So we will take that green card. This is now in my hand. I'm going to flip this. This goes back to in hand. This goes back to in hand. This goes back to in hand. And then Surasu is now on the board, waiting to be charged up a little bit. We do the corrupted turn. No enemies are in range to attack me. Oh, shoot. Ophion was in range to attack me last turn, so I should have lost another health that way, because he was in the dojo and I was here. So I did forget about that, but we got on top of it now, but that's probably bad. Oh yeah, I'm definitely dying. I'm dying a horrible death. Great. Oh, this should have moved here at the end of the corrupted turn's last turn as well. So rolling the dice for Ophion, he rolls a 2. We get another terror marker here. And then Ophion rolled this. All enemies gain 1 activation. This is super annoying. Well, let's get some more energy, kids, because we're about to lose some. So I'm going to play Galvanic Palette. That's deal 2 damage, range 1. I'm going to destroy the blue Riffling, and that's going to give me 2 blue energy. Again, I need to get 15 energy before I can go save our friend over here. So that activation is done, and then it says any enemy who is not dealt damage by a player this turn takes 3 damage. So this is weird in a solo game, but ultimately, if you're playing in a competitive game where you might have used activation to attack another player, but any enemy, so enemy to Ophion, so the players who did not get damaged, I did not get damaged, takes 3 damage. But since I'm in Koi, I actually take 4 damage, so that means bam, and I think that means I lose, even though I only lost 3 health, I think that means I do lose 4 spirit, which is kind of bananas. Which means I shouldn't have discarded the Dreamstone because I knew I was about to die anyway. Would I have discarded the Dreamstone? No, that would have made no sense because I was at 3. I knew I was taking. Right. If I realized where I was, if I remembered to get the other attack last turn, I would have been at 2. It would have made no sense to go to 4. I would have not played the Dreamstone last turn. And I'll just put this down here with some items. Put this kind of up in here now. And I'll just hold on to the Dreamstone. So again, either way, I go to 0 in my my spirit. When a player dies, the player is transported to the dojo. That is going to be my first Doom token. If Oric dies again, I am out. I'm going to set myself up to 9 health and 5 spirit. Again, those are my starting values. So that is the Corrupted's turn. At the end of the Corrupted's turn, these 2 are both going to move into Persephone's space. They're going to do 2 damage each. That gets her down to 4, and that means she's up to 4 fear. So she is over the scared threshold. She gets 2 more fear. She will be terrified. I mean, naturally. We're now going to take a World Shift card. World Shift card comes out. Pilots of the Drear. Desolate and dark spires conceal the sanctums of the Honore, a wicked organization of scientists dedicated to studying the power of nightmares. Switch the location of the Drear and the dojo, keeping their orientations the same. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. This should have charged up because I took all that damage, so that's fine. Yep. And then all players gain 1 red energy. And the player deletes total energy gains an additional gold energy. I will take a red. Then all players lose 1 health and gain a dreamstone. So I lose a health. I think Persephone also loses a health, if I'm reading this right. And she gains a 2nd dreamstone, and I gain a 2nd dreamstone as well. Assuming I understand the rules, which, you know, is a little bit of a question. Ding and ding. So that is fine. Plots of the Drear is out. Thank you for the world shift. We're now going to go to the Dawn. So we're going to spawn the cards in the number 2 space of each of these worlds. So we have Wazaru goes there. It's a monster. The Ice Phoenix. Oh, I love that card. It's so good. We have an event that goes face down. This monster goes face up. It is a Dream Hunter. We have a monster in a Retchy Waste, goes face up. It is the Molten Mantis, and this monster goes face up. It is the Murky Merc, one of the bosses as well. Fascinating. I'm going to try to kill the Horrible Tangle, because it's horrible, and it's a tangle, and why not? So we're going to go back to Tiger Stance. I get the +1 damage this turn. I'm going to move for all my actions. So I'm going to move 2 to go here. My second action is I'm going to 5. Oh, he's aggressive. So he does 3 damage to me. That's fine. I go down to 5. What a jerk. I'm going to play Backflip, choose a monster corrupted within range 1. I'm already in their space. I deal 1 damage. That becomes 2. And then I'm going to use Sarasu as my 3rd activation. That does 3 damage because 4 gets a tiger. So that's 6 damage. I have killed the Horrible Tangle. Horrible Tangle's out. I'm going to get 2 green energy. It gets me up to 7. I get a blue energy, gets me up to 3, and I get a gold energy. I'm going to take a red so I can get up to 5, and I will get a new card. Additionally, I'm going to get item number 22. Item number 22 is No 2 beings hear the same song. The ancient music box, discard, all players draw an ultimate card from their level up pile if able. I don't think I can in this scenario because, again, I cannot gain my ultimate by normal means, and I assume that also means this card. But, you know, unclear. Add that to the list of things we'll have to find out when we're older. Bam. Actually, I can probably just put my items over here. It's probably smarter. Items, ancient music box. There we go. Let's make use of all the space, Greg. So much better. And in my turn, I'm going to put this on board. We put this in hand, and we put this on board. And I gain 1 of my red cards. So the 2 red cards I have to choose from are Art of War, deal 1 damage. Oh, bye-bye, you're out. Oh, special loot. Also, I got 3 spirit, gets me up to 8. That's nice, but I only have 5 health, which is a slightly concerning thing. All right, deal 1 damage, range 2, add 1 charge to any number of abilities with charges in front of any number of players. An ability cannot exceed a maximum of 4 charges. And then over here, it's deal the in-hand abilities deal 2 damage, range 2, gain health equal to the damage dealt. I think that's going to be super important. Otherwise, we have die, but not D-I-E, it's D-Y-E. Deal 3 damage, range 1, or if you activate the Sarasu this turn, it gains +2 range, and that is a free ability. So free abilities do not go against your activation limit on any given turn. I think the ability to heal is going to be fairly useful, although We're actually at, oh, when I died, I would have lost 2 energy. I would have lost the 2 green. So sorry about that. So I am 2 energy away from being able to make this work, but I can get that next turn. I will take the Art of War, and I put this in the wrong thing. So Art of War is going to go in my hand. These cards are going to go away. I have just not leveled up on blue. And remember, blue is the primary color of Persephone, so that's a thing to remember. That we might actually want to get to blue. So these are my in-hand cards. I'm just going to keep them splayed like that. Flayed, not flayed, splayed. And then we have the onboard cards. We have 3 onboard cards at our disposal for next turn. So those are my 3 activations this turn. We have done everything. And now we go to the Corrupted's turn. So the Corrupted is going to roll 3 dice, or 2 dice. It's like 3, it's just less. 5. We get a terror marker, a doom marker here. That is going to move closer to Persephone end of the turn, so I'll just do that now. And then we have, we rolled Akenmore. Transport the enemy with the least health to the same... No! I don't want to transport. I want to be where I am. Alright, so we get transferred here. It's not awful, it's just annoying. And that enemy takes 2 damage. I take 2 damage. I lose 2 spirit as a result. If that ability reduces a player to 1 or less spirit, they cannot move on their next turn, but they still may transport. But that's fine. How can I get to the dojo? Can I get to the dojo? Yeah, if I can get Persephone to the dojo next turn, that'd be pretty sick. I'm now going to spawn 3 things for the Dusk phase. Again, 2 because I think Persephone counts as a player for these purposes. So we got Bayou 6. So this Dusk card goes into here. It is the Forest Ronin. We're going to roll again. It is the Drear 3. You're freaking kidding me. That is not the Roll of Dreams. It's an ally. Oh, excellent. That's fine. Herald of the Serpent. That makes me feel a wee bit better. And then finally, we're going to get... That's 3. Don't think I can kill that one. We have 3 health left. Woof. Remember, I got a Koi. I have to increase damage dealt to me by 1, so that's a concern. I would not mind killing the Ice Phoenix. That could be a very nice card to have. But that sucker does 2 damage. Dangerous. Alright, the 3rd roll, Bayou 1. Dusk card comes here. It is the Skybrarian. When this monster enters Hara, all players gain +1 blue energy, and again, I do think that includes Persephone as well. Oh, when this one entered, all players gain 1 green energy. I do believe that includes Persephone as well. So I forgot to do that when the Forest Ronin came in. Interesting. If I go Koi, the problem with Koi is that it makes me take +1 damage, and I only have 3 health. I do want to end my turn on the dojo. I was just in Tiger. Can I do what I want to do in 3 activations? I wish I took the... Knowing that was going to be there, I wish I took the other the other card. Um, that could be good. All right, that could work. I'm going to go Koi. I gain +1 activation. I'm going to play my next attack gets +1 damage. That's my first activation. Art of War. It's my second activation, deal 2 damage, range 1, but that's actually 3 damage, but I gain health equal to damage dealt. So I've killed the Ice Phoenix, and I gain 3 health because I deal 3 damage in that attack. However, the Ice Phoenix is dangerous, so it gives me 2 damage, and then Koi makes it 3 damage. I didn't enter that space, so I don't have to worry about losing the 1 spirit. I get 2 blue energy, and I'm going to get item number 9. Item number 9, where are you? So we have the Ice Phoenix down. If you would be defeated, you may discard this card to return it to your spawn value. Return to your spawn value for health and spirit instead. That would be an excellent item to hand on to Persephone. So that was my second activation. My third activation is I'm going to transport. You can move through a monster as long as it doesn't have aggressive, it doesn't attack you. Do I want to transport? Do I want to move? I'm going to do backflip for move 2. I'm going to do the ally ability, the Herald of the Serpent. Oh, now that I'm on the same spot as Persephone, I'm going to exhaust all of my energy. So I go from 6, 6, 5, 6, and I'm going to give her that much. So she goes from 1 to 7, 0 to 5, and 1 to 7. Remember, we had the +1 because the 2 monsters gave extra energy. I'm going to now trigger this ally ability. This is not an activation to move 2. That's out. And then with my 4th activation, I'm going to use dash, move up to 1, and end up in the dojo. When I end up in the dojo, I can take 3 health and or energy in any combination I want. And that's totally cool. And now we're going to go to phase 2 of this game. And we got that done in the second dusk, which is really nice timing for sure. So we transferred 15 energy, we were in the same spot, and then we freed her, and then we carried her back to the dojo since we had our 4th activations. Now we're phase 2, time for payback. Switch your character space for Persephone's, so I'm out. We can take Oric completely out of the game. So his solo scenario is a little strange in that sense. Done, and those are done. And now we're going to bring Persephone's little thing down here. Again, she has 3 health. I mean, the fact that she can never die is kind of bananas. I don't know how you would do this if I did not manage to defeat the Ice Phoenix for sure. And so she gets all of Oric's items, although she can only have 2 Dreamstones in her inventory. So we're just going to throw away the 2 that she had. We have the Ancient Music Box, and we have the Ice Phoenix down, and now we have all of her cards. So good. She has her primary color is blue, so 3 more blue. We're going to get her ultimate card. However, we take her ultimate card out the gate anyway. So Born in the Dark. You may use this ability during any player's turn, including your own. The current player gains +2 activations. The player's next attack this turn deals +1 damage, and that is a free thing. So basically, you can go from 3 activations to 5. We have her starting cards. We have Fever Dream, Dash, Shadow Form, Fangs of Fear. And I can push this up higher because we're going to have a lot of activations with her. And we have that. And now I can also level up since I am over the threshold in blue, red, and green. I'm going to take 1 of each of these 3 cards. So we have Nightmare. Take 1 damage, gain +1 activation, free. The other side is terrified. Your next attack this turn with a single target gains +2 damage. It costs 2 fear. You can only activate this if you are terrified, right? So I'm not terrified yet. I only lost 5 health so far. That's fine. The other option for green is Dusk Light. Choose another player, corrupted, pick 1. That target takes 1 damage, you gain 2 health. Or that target gains 2 health and you take 1 damage. The on-board ability is choose a face-up card in front of you. That player must either pay 3 spirit or put that card back in their hand without activating it. Nightmare is much more what I'm in the need for. I need to do 32 damage to Ophion. It's going to be tough. Claws of the Nether Beast is one of the blue cards. Deal 3 damage, range 1. You may steal 2 spirit away from any player dealt damage this way if you're scared. The on-board ability is deal 1 damage, range 1. You may pay 2 fear to deal +2 damage if you're terrified. Or we have Siphon Sorrow, deal 2 damage, range 2. You may pay 1 fear to gain health equal to the damage dealt by this attack. That could be really useful. Or deal 2 damage to all the targets within range 0. You may pay 2 fear to give this attack +2 range. I will take the consistency of the 2 damage on each side of that, plus the ability to gain some health back. So that's out. Void Swap. Choose a monster and swap its location with any other monster. These monsters lose aggressive, cost 1 fear. The onboard ability is choose a player corrupted and swap it with another player corrupted, cost 1 fear. Instead, you may swap the location of any number of players and are corrupted. Or we have Void Step. Move up to 1. Terrified, instead you may pay 3 fear to transport to any player corrupted, range 4, deal that target 3 damage. That's the onboard ability. The in-hand ability is move with a 1. Instead, you may pay 1 fear to transport to any player corrupted within range 4. That movement is really, really nice. So I will definitely do that. All right, so we transferred items, we selected level up cards, and we draw our ultimate card immediately. There is no more scenario roll effect for the duration of this fight. But actually, so we should be here. I've been neglecting to do that. One thing I should point out is corrupted. So monsters can't attack you in the dojo, but corrupted sure as heck can. So we do need to be careful about that. And we're about to get attacked by Ophion, which is nuts. Like that's I still haven't figured. Oh, yeah, she never got terrified. If she had gotten terrified at any point, we could have done our ultimate, would have been able to just give her 3 health. But since she never got terrified, I mean, she's basically just going to get whacked. And I'm very confused how she doesn't lose her 8 health. It's not like she gains health from being in the dojo. It wasn't the end of her turn. I don't know. It is what it is. Something feels wacky with the rules for this specific scenario, for sure. All right, so this, we don't roll for this, and this is part of the scenario roll effect, so this just stops moving, if I'm reading that correctly. But I guess if we moved into that space, it would give us 2 damage, I think. If a terror reaches, I know, I guess it has to reach her, so I think we could potentially move to that space and we'll be fine. Because we're just like running away from our terrors, I guess, thematically. But we do have to roll the world die for Ophion's corrupted turn. Akhenmore. Transport to the enemy with the least health to the same space as Ophion. So we go here. We want it to be there anyway. That enemy takes 2 damage. So 1 and 2. Loses 2 spirit corresponding to that. And actually, that helps because now we get up to 7 fear because we are super terrified. We do the World Shift card, because that was the end of Dusk of Day 2. The World Shift card melts your face. Mercurial Slam took the stage name Murky Merc after the first big hit. During the gig, the Muddy Mercenary effortlessly put the entire crowd on the floor and left the venue without even a scratch. As his fame grew, the creatures of the bayou rallied around him, turning to music and occasionally combat to heal their centuries of sorrow. Wherever the Misfit Band travels, they bring with them traditional rockstar merriment. Switch the location of the bayou and the dojo. Fine with me. This goes here. This goes up here. So we have 4 rounds to do 32 damage and we can't die. Excellent. I think this is fine. Oh boy, that's not a good start. The player with the least total energy must prove their worth. I cannot take 2 damage. That would be super bad. So again, it's a roll test. I need a number 6. I have to spend the spirit before I roll. There are some indications where it is the reverse. I'm going to spend all my spirit because it will give me. Well, I can't even take the Dreamstone, but I'm going to spend all my spirit anyway. I just need to roll anything but a 1. Anything but a 1. 5. Excellent. Done. So I succeed. I keep this card in inventory while on a space in the bayou. I do +1 damage. And I get a Dreamstone. Again, I'm already maxed out on Dreamstones. We're going to go to Dawn on day 3. We go to Dawn on day 3. We're going to put out all of the world cards on the top of the world deck. So that event goes there. This monster goes here. 3 is full, so it goes into 2. It's another Ice Phoenix. Hello. That's really awesome. The monster in the Dreer goes face up. It is the Carnivorous Nether Beast. Monster in Akenmore is the Wood Oni. And the event in the Bayou goes there. The monster in the Wretchy Waste is the Forgotten Guardian. All right. I would like to do 16 damage to Afion. I don't think that's going to work. I'm going to discard the... Doesn't even make sense. Probably not. I'm going to have 0 spirit no matter what. I'm not even going to worry about it. Ice Phoenix Down is going to kill me. When I die, I'll use Ice Phoenix Down, and that's even better. So I just want to do a bunch of damage to this Jerky Jerk. Fear. Scared. To fear. Seven activations. No, 5 activations. So this is free. Yeah, so I'm going to play Born in the Dark. My next, I get 2 + 2 activations. My next attack this turn deals 1 plus 1 damage. Excellent. I'm going to play Fangs of Fear. Nope. All right. I'm going to do Siphon Sorrow for my first activation. I deal 2 damage, range 2. I'm going to play 1 Fear to gain health equal to the damage dealt by this attack. So I'm still terrified. I pay 1 Fear. It's going to be 2 damage plus 1, so it's 3 damage to Afion. He's down to 13, and I get 3 health back. Gets me up to 4. I'm going to play Nightmare. Take a damage. Gives me a Fear back. And that's a free card, so I still have 4 activations. I'm going to play Fangs of Fear. I'm going to pay a Fear. So it's 2 damage, range 0, plus 1 because of that. So he goes from 13 down to 10. And actually, I should have done this first. I would have taken the damage. My next, I take a damage, get a Fear. That would have done 1 more damage on this activation. So your next attack this turn with a single target gets plus 1 damage and plus 1 range. So we're at 9. Yeah, the wording of that, players dealt damage by Ophion. So if I prevent the damage, do I prevent the spirit loss? I assume so. Actually, maybe I don't do Born in the Dark. It seems silly. What's attacking me? Oh, everything's attacking me. Woof. This took 1 activation. I would have regained 1 less health. I'm surrounded by monsters. Could go into the dojo. I could go into the dojo. Yeah, I'll do shadow form, move up to 2. I am terrified, so I can prevent the next 2 damage that will be dealt to me this turn. I'll move 1, 2, and then I'll play dash, move up to 2. So remember, this was free, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. So I move to 2. I end up in the dojo. I would have discarded the Dreamstone to get 2 spirit back. And I will give myself 4 health and 1 spirit. And again, I'm preventing the next 2 damage dealt to me this turn, which I think prevents the spirit loss as well, if I'm reading that correct. I'm trying to figure out if the spirit loss is a separate effect, that they both happen even if I prevent the damage or not. I was playing it as they were separate effects, but I'm second guessing myself on that. Oric just popped. That's a silly question. What's the game called? And Oric says Champions of Hara. Yes, Champions of Hara. Yes, sir. All right, done. I assume if I get up to 3 blue, I would get my ultimate for Persephone. We only did 7 damage, which is, at some point I'm like, I don't know how you do 32 damage in a turn, in 4 turns. It just seems pretty impossible. But we're going to try. So that was fine. This goes on board. This goes on board. This is on board. This is on board. On board. On board. And fine. We're going to just roll the world die for Aphion's turn. It's Bayou. What does the Bayou do? Nope. Yep, Bayou. Yeah, I do think I messed up Lunar Ridge and Bayou. The color for Bayou is not green enough on the die, and it just looks like Lunar Ridge. So I think one of these should have been on the Bayou. So we'll just pretend I rolled Lunar Ridge. Sleepwalk. Transfer the enemy the least health to the same space as Alphion. That enemy takes 2 damage. I'm preventing 2 damage this turn. Oh. Maybe I'm not. If the next 2 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. This is not. This is not a turn. Oh, it's super annoying. Yeah, this is not a turn. So I would have done this and this when I went to the dojo. That would have made more sense. So I'm going to take to 2 damage. It gets me up to the max fear. Because this is a corrupted turn, not the player turn. And I lose 2 spirit. If I got to 1 or less spirit, then I couldn't move. So like doing the math, it would have made no sense to get up to 4. So if it's 3 would have killed me, but then I have at least the Phoenix down. I think strategically it made sense to get up to 4 there with the Dreamstone. We're gonna do the Dusk rolls. I'm doing 3. Akenmore 4. This will go 4 is full, so this goes into 1. We have an ally there. Each member routine gets a Dreamstone. Oric weighs 4. This goes here. We have ourselves a Rift. Rifts are like events, but they're slightly different. They're optional as opposed to mandatory. And then Oppenheim 3. 3 is full, 2 is through. This goes into 1. It is a major red Rift. I do not want. I'm pretty sure Rifts are optional. Rifts. Yeah, they may choose to try to close it. No, thank you. I get the red energy out of it. No, I kind of like the Rift just chilling there, to be honest. All right, so that is done. We go to Dusk of day 3. We need to do a ton more damage. So I'm going to gain a health. Nope, not do that yet. I have 3 activations. So, Terrified, my next attack this turn with a single target gets +2 damage. It costs 2 fear. So activation 1. I'm going to deal... I'm going to gain a health and a fear. That was free. I have 2 more activations. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill this dude. It's just crazy, dude. I just don't know how you're getting to 32 damage. It just doesn't seem to make sense. Well, there's that onboard ability. Yeah, that would be 1. It's 3 damage there. I'm going to deal 2 damage, range 1. It becomes 4 damage. Oh, that's bananas. Because 4 damage, and then I'm going to spend 1 fear to get 4 health, so I go up to 6. Two damage, range 1, 4 damage. I had the 4, so this is down to 5 now. You still got way too much health, dude. And then I only have 1 more activation. This was free. That's not great. I'm going to discard the Dreamstone to get up to 4. And then I'll do this for my last activation. I can pay 2 fear to increase the range. Deal 2 damage to all other targets within range 0. That's fine. I'll just do 2 more damage to Ophion. He's down to 3. We go to Ophion's turn. It's rolling a die. He rolls Lunar Ridge. Transfer Ophion to the player to leave spirit. That player takes 2 damage. Oh, shoot. At the end of my turn, I lose 2 spirit for that. I would have lost another spirit and another health because he would have attacked me. They all attack me. Yeah, end of my turn, because I end up stuck there. We were at 4 health, 6 there. End of my turn, he would have attacked me. I lose that and a spirit. This dude attacks me. I lose 3 health. Woof. I mean, this is crazy. Let me hold on to this Dreamstone. So I would have been at 2. I'm at 1. I lose 3 health from this. No, I'm sorry. He only attacks me for 1. So Ophion attacks me. I lose a health and a spirit. The Iwazaru attacks me for 1 damage. The Dream Hunter attacks me for 2 damage. Yeah, this is where would have been. This is actually part of my turn, so this would have been helpful to. Phase 2 is the monster attacks. This is where I can prevent damage. Because a corrupt is a separate turn, I can't prevent the damage. So it would have been good to still have that ability, but I used it last turn to do max damage to him. I probably should have held on to my ultimate and played it 1 turn later in hindsight, but I was able to get to the dojo, so it's hard to say. But anyway, the Ice Phoenix is attacking me now, and that's 2 damage, so that would kill me. When I would die, instead, I played the Ice Phoenix down. I discard, I get to my starting health value, so 8. I'm fully maxed out here, and 6. And now on Ophion's turn, he gives me 2 damage, so I'm down to 6, and I lose 2 spirit as a result. But he's still only got 3 health. We go to the World Shift card. Memories of Oric. Once the home to an advanced aquatic civilization, Oric is now an arid desert filled with ancient trash, discarded dimensions, and an angry storm god. Switch the location of Oric Waste in the dojo. So the dojo is really far away from me now, which isn't ideal. Boom and boom. All player gain 1 blue energy. I like that. And the player with the least total energy gets an additional gold energy. And then all players may move up to 2. Don't need to do that. Where was our third? I must have thrown it up there. There should be another World Shifts card somewhere. Oh, yeah, I have it there in front of me. It's in front of your face, Greg. Excellent. So that was helpful. That will help because I'm going to get my ultimate ability back. We go to Dawn on day 4. On Dawn on day 4, this event's going to go in 4 forceful. It goes in 1. This event's going to go into 4. So I wanted to leave that closed off, so I didn't do that rift. This monster goes into 4. It is a mushroom walker. We go there. That's an event. This monster goes into 4. This monster goes into 4. And I think that is it. Yeah, event, monster. Yeah, so all 6 worlds got their thing. We got a Baku leak over here. I need to do 3 more damage. This goes in hand. This goes in hand. This goes in hand. This goes in hand. I did not use that. This stays on board. This stays on board. I have no idea how I'm doing enough damage to you. But we'll find out. So Fangs of Fear. I'm going to play Fangs of Fear, 2 damage, range 0. I'm going to do a Fear to do 3rd damage. That's 3 damage, range 0. We've killed Ophion the first time. This will come here. We're going to get 2 gold energy, so I'll just take a blue and a red. And at the end of my turn, I will gain my ultimate ability. I have 2 more activations this turn. I'm going to take a damage. It gives me a fear. I'm down to 5 health, and I gain an activation. So I have 2 more activations still. I'm going to do 2 damage, range 2. Spend a fear to get health equal to damage dealt. I'm going to do 2 damage. So we're down to 14 health left on Ophion, and I'm going to get 2 health back. Now you do, my starting value is 8. You can get up to 10, which is cool. Oh, I didn't use that. That's not good. I have 1 more activation. I want to get to a place where I don't get killed, and then we'll see if I can do 14 damage next turn. I don't think that's going to be doable, but we shall try. I'm going to play Void Step. I'm going to pay 1 fear to transport to any player corrupted within range 4. Oh, any player corrupted, or I could just move 1. Yikes. I'm going to get punished. I have to get Void Step on the board. The Bayou, I have +1 damage from the Bayou, but the Bayou stayed all the way up there. So I can only transport to any player or corrupted. I can't even transport to an enemy. If I move here, I'm basically taking 4 damage. Here I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage minimum, and then whatever else happens. I don't have the card where I can avoid damage. Here I'm taking 4 damage, and then whatever else happens. I'm going to discard the Dreamstone to get 2 spirit. If I go here, I'm taking 5 damage. The problem is if it rolls Break Ultimatum, I am super dead. Oh, that's freaking crazy, dude. I don't get this technically to the end of my turn, so I wouldn't have that in my hand. I had nothing to do +1 damage. I could do that. Seven health. Yeah, I really should have used discard last turn. What was the one that let me ignore? That one was the in-hand ability. Did I move last turn? Nah. I remember my 3rd activation was, but I really wanted to get that back. Because again, that's the monster, the enemy, the monster attacks are on my turn. It's the corrupted thing that has its own turn. So I really could have prevented some stuff that way. Can't move to any player corrupted. I definitely can't get back to the dojo. I'm within 2, so he's attacking me 1. I lose a spirit that way. Yes, this is all sorts of bad. That attacking 2 is gross. Yeah, even if I could have moved, have to get this on the board. It's the only way I'm doing 3 damage. Unless I just don't use it. Oh, it's so strong though. Yeah, I hope if I can roll Oppenheimer the Dreer, I can do what I want to do, but I have to get out of the way of this dude. So I'm going to use Shadow Form. I'm going to move... Oh, fort. That's also bananas. I'm going to use a Fear down to 7, and I'm going to move 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use the ally ability of the Monstrum Walker to get item number 17, and that's going to give me another activation for next turn. It is the Monstrum Truffle, gain 1 activation. I still don't think I'm going to be able to do 14 damage, but I'll have a little bit better shot, and now I make sure I'm not going to, no matter how the math works out, I won't die from taking too much damage now with the enemy attacks. The Dawn Karen is within range 1, so it gives me 2 damage. The Dusk Karen is within range 1, it gives me 2 damage, so I'm down to... Oh, that didn't work out anyway. Woof. Right, because now if I roll that, I die. Oh my gosh. Alright, no Monstrum Truffle for me. He's back. That's bad. I cannot take 4 damage and then be 3 away from death. Silliness. I was at 8. Yeah, I think I saved that. I just move. That doesn't help. Maybe it will. I'll just move the 1 and get out of the range of all the other enemies. Alright, so I'm in the range of Afion, so he gives me 1 damage. Since he gave me damage, I lose a spirit as well. We are going to roll his die. He did roll Oppenheim. That's good. I will play Void Step just to get on the board. This stays on board. This goes in hand. On board. On board. On board. I have my ultimate card in my hand, and this comes. And I just played this. So move 1. Instead, I may pay 1 fear to transport. That's fine. I'll just move 1, and I'll move here. I take 3 damage, though. 1, 2, 3. And I lose 3 health, or 3 spirit as well. I'm down to 2. On board. So that plus that 1 extra activation is super, super nice. We go to Dusk. We're going to spawn 3 things. We're at Bayou 6 and Dusk. The only open space in the Bayou is there. We get the Herald of the Stag. Lunar Ridge 5. Dusk, that's filled up. We get the Herald of the Serpent. And then last but not least, we have Lunar Ridge 5. Lunar Ridge is full, so we have to re-roll this. That's Bayou 5. Bayou is full. We re-roll that. Lunar Ridge is full. And Oppenheim 5 goes there. It is the Wayward Warrior. When this monster enters Hara, all players gain +1 red energy. Excellent. Alright, can we get 14 damage? I don't think we can. I'm going to play Born in the Dark. The next player's next attack this turn deals +1 damage. Free. I'm going to use Void Step. I'm going to pay... This will work. I'm going to do my next attack this turn. So I'm going to do Nightmare. My next attack this turn with a single target gains +2 damage, cost 2 fear. I'm down to 6. It's my activation 1. Again, I have 5 activations. I'm going to play Void Step. I'm going to pay 3 fear to transfer to any corrupted and deal 3 damage. So it's 3 + 2 + 1. So it's going to be 6 damage total. And I'm down to... I spent 3 more fear, so I'm down to Scared. So 6 damage gets us down to 8. Yeah. Not gonna be enough. I have 3 more activations. I have Fever Dream, take 1 damage. Fear goes up. My next attack gets +1 damage done. I can do Siphon Sorrow. I do 2 damage within range 0. I can play 2 fear. Nope, I don't need the extra range, but that becomes 3 damage, so we're down to 5. And then my last activation, Fangs of Fear. I'm going to deal 2 damage, range 1, and pay a fear to gain health equal to damage done. Actually, I should have done that in reverse order, so I'll get 3 health back. And I'm doing 2 damage. So down to 3. Oh, the pain. Yeah, I can't win. That's silly. I couldn't even get to the bayou to take advantage of that. I mean, I needed to do 14 damage. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so I did the math right. I'm just 3 short. I literally don't know how you do 32 damage to this dude in 1 turn. And I'm out of activations. Is that right? Yeah, activation. Extra activation is done here. Oh, could I grab this? Oh, that's interesting. Last turn, I should have had 2 more activations. Because I could have played the Ancient Music Box, drawn up her ultimate last turn, played it before defeating him the first round. That would have been my ticket. Because Oric doesn't gain normal means, but she does. So if I had played Born in the Dark, let me kind of rebuild this. This was on board. This was in hand. This was on board. This was on board. That's been on board for a while. This was on board. This I played during the corrupted turn, so this was in my hand last turn. I don't remember what I played. Don't remember what I played. Yeah, that's how I would have had it done it. If I had the ultimate last turn, I could have 2 more activations. Had the extra damage from that, gotten it back in my hand. I mean, ultimately, I still would have had to move over here to prevent dying, but then, you know, he's he wouldn't have attacked me. I still would have been able to go there and do the 3 damage that way. I would have gotten that on the board, extra activation. So the math was there. I'd have to refigure it out. But the fact that I forgot that the Ancient Music Box could have worked for Persephone, it turned out to be the ultimate difference, because I would have had the Almighty Ultimate ability 3 times instead of just the 2. And I would assume that those extra 2 activations, I would have been able to find 2 more damage, because that would have given me the +1 damage. But the way I played it, I just can't recreate all that. I mean, at this point, I would get attacked by those. I would get 6 attacks, and I would end up being defeated at that point. So, um, that's I turned a win into a loss somehow, because I'm good. So yeah, I should have played the Ancient Music, but I wish I could refigure out how to do that, because that would be super cool. That'd be super cool to kind of work that out on the on camera. Taggart's. +1. What the heck did I play to kill him? I played this last turn. That was my first action, because that's what killed him, and that's what gave me the level up, which at the end of that turn I would gain this for sure. Or do you take the ultimates? You take them. Yeah, I think all the level ups in that, the wording is like weird. I think you actually get it at the end of the turn. So I would have been able to get this. Can't remember what else I did. I moved the 1. Yeah, I moved that 1. So that must have been on board. I did this. So if I killed him last turn, it would have +1 damage because of the ultimate. I'd have 2 more activations, and then I get this back in my hand. Yeah, this was definitely my turn. I could have taken the fear. I could have put that down, and I could have dealt 1 more damage with that. Yeah, I could have done this and this last turn. That's 2 more damage there. Yeah, the math would have been really interesting to carry out. I can't figure it all out, because my fear was different. I would have needed to get this on the board. So that would have just done 1 damage. And then he rolled what he rolled, so I would have had another activation. So yeah, I think the win was there just because of the Ancient Music Box. So that's totally my fault. But yeah, it's a crazy game, man. It's a crazy puzzle. I love the table presence. I really do. It's a pretty cool game to look at. It was cool to see that viable. I was not even coming close to pulling this off in my practice run through. So you kind of see it come together, where it's like, okay, I mean, but you ultimately, if you don't get Persephone into the dojo before the end of Dusk on day 2, like it's just impossible. But now you still have this crazy puzzle of figuring out how the heck you're going to do 32 damage in 1 round. And I don't, in 4 rounds, and the whole time you're getting whacked. I mean, if you don't have an Ice Phoenix, I mean, she can never die. Like, I just feel like I'm missing something in, like, just the difficulty spike on this, because again, the only way I had a chance to win this was the Ancient Music Box and the Phoenix down. So, everything else. And I guess there are some other items that could really make it work, but you don't really have the time to be trying to. Your attacks with a single target deal +1 damage to monsters. I mean, you don't have the time to be really getting items. I mean, you're so tight on your action economy that I do wonder. Even 1 more day, I think, would add a lot more of a strategic feel, as opposed to like, oh, I just need to get stupidly lucky to make this happen. Ooh, that's nice. I don't even know how to get a lot of these items yet. I think I've seen like half the items in this deck in all my plays of it. But we again, I won't be contact I won't I can't even speak. I won't come back to Champions of Horror a ton. I will be working through the various scenarios, especially the solo scenarios in the upcoming months. So many rules questions about this. I mean, does Persephone count as a second player for all purposes? Should I be doing 3 dust cards instead of 2? I mean, those are all like things that just don't have great answers. So anyone that's like done that work, that's figured all that out with some like official answers somewhere, like I've scoured BGG, I don't see anything. That'd be super helpful to know, and if I'm missing anything about, how just to keep Persephone alive, that would be also good to know. Like one of these, her getting terrified isn't bad because then Oric gets his ultimate ability. So if 3 of these things actually hit her, it's not bad because then Oric gets his ultimate thing and then he can go ahead and heal her 3, which would be pretty helpful. But this is it's a cool game. It's a crazy game. Definitely glad it's in my collection. Stay tuned for next week. I'll probably be doing 4 live streams next week. We will be back to Mage Night, of course. Hoping to get Horizon Zero Dawn. No, Horizon Zero Dawn. I said it right the first time. On the channel finally. Maybe gonna loop back to Final Girl, and I got some other ideas. And then the week after that, obviously, maybe Pax Premier second, but obviously Spirit Island, and trying to finish strong the next 2 weeks before I take some time off. But this was cool. Thanks for everyone who popped in the chat early on in this playthrough. Any questions, comments, epiphanies, put them in the comment section below. And until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.